Google Sheets table features have made it extremely easy and simple to analyze your data using Google Sheets. And Table has some new features which are not present in Microsoft Excel that you could use to analyze your data. So in this video, we will do two things. Number one, we will use a dummy CRM sheet, a lead tracking sheet, which I have made, which a lot of businesses use to demonstrate how to use Google Sheets table features to analyze data. So there we will do two things. Number one, we will use the group views, and number two, we would use the filter views. These two are extremely easy and work at the click of a button. And number two, we would use raw data, unformatted data, where I'll show you how to quickly create a table, how to convert unformatted data in columns and cells into a Google table, and then use these features, the group view, how to add validation and drop downs. And if you do not like it, if you want to go back to the unformatted data, how to reverse the entire formatting. So let's get started.
Now, this is a sample lead data, sales lead data for a company. So this is the lead tracking sheet where you have all the basic columns, right, from the lead date to the company details and the status of the lead. This comes with an inbuilt dashboard where you could monitor all the key KPIs in terms of the goal, the revenue, and the conversion percentage, the monthly summary, and other reports. But there are a few other things which you may want to analyze. Now, if you want to use this lead tracking sheet, which has been created for 2025, or you could go ahead, the download link and the link for the video demo are in the description. Now, for this video, we want to see the Google table features that we could use to analyze data. Now, while we have the dashboard, there are some other reports or some other visualizations that you may want to see. For example, we have a column here for lead owner, sales rep 1, sales rep 2, sales rep 3. And for your company, you may have the actual names there. So you may want to group the data and want to see the performance of each sales rep. Or you may want to look at the grouping by lead source or by the lead stage. So here in the Google table, you could see here is the table name. You could go ahead and rename the table, and that could act as a reference while creating formulas. But here you have a calculator icon, a sheet icon. So you click on that and it says create a filter view, which is like a standard filter which you create in spreadsheets. But here is a great feature which says create group by view. And once you go there, it lists all the possible columns that we have in the table to create a group view. So let's say we wanted to look at groupings by lead owner, by sales rep. So we go ahead and we simply click on the lead owner, and you could see the table in less than a second has been grouped by each sales rep. So now if I want to review the performance of sales rep 1, I don't need to go ahead and filter the entire data or keep scrolling. I have the entire data for sales rep 1 here, and I could go ahead and review his or her leads immediately with the person, and similarly for the other sales rep. For example, now if you want to go ahead and group data by, let's say, lead source, you want to see how each lead source is doing. So now you have the groupings by the lead source, which is email, organic, outbound is giving you the most number of leads. Paid ads are giving you more number of leads. So it's extremely easy if you want to create the grouping by designation to see which designations are inquiring more for your services or your products. You could see AVP level contacts. There are two, co-founders two, directors two, founder two, manager two. So mostly people are either owners or directors, except for manager, everybody is at a senior level or a C-level position. Let's go ahead and let's remove the groupings right now. So just go ahead and exit the view. So don't save, you could save it for future references. This is just a demo. Now let's look at how to use the filter option in the Google table, the new option. The old option, obviously, like other spreadsheets, is that you could create a filter view and you could filter by values. But here is a simpler and a new way that Google Sheets have added this feature in their table. So while you're scrolling your data, let's say, for example, we're looking at the lead stage here, which has multiple options, won, lost, negotiation, proposal. And let's say if you want to go ahead and look at all the deals that are stuck in the negotiation phase. So instead of going ahead to the header and then creating a filter value, you can just simply right click on the cell and it says filter by cell value. Just click on that. and you could see the filter is immediately applied and all the other data columns are hidden. You just look at the 4 deals that are here in the negotiation phase, and you can discuss with your team that what's being done. For example, here you could see for one negotiation deal, this is a sample data, but for example, here a meeting was to be scheduled by the 10th of February. I'm recording this video on the 21st of February. So you could see that the action item which was planned has not been implemented, and hence the deal has not progressed. So these are 2 new features in Google Sheets table, which allows you to analyze data in a very simplified way and look at data what you want to look at by removing all the other data. So group view and the filter view. But this was using actual data, which is already formatted with conditional formatting and validations. As I said in the section 2, let's go ahead and let's use raw data. Let's say if you get this raw data. So now how do you go ahead and convert this into a Google table and then apply the same views and other features? So one is simply you press Control Alt and T, and that will convert your data into a table format. So as simple as that, Control Alt and T, and that'll convert your data. So I've just reversed it. You could even go ahead and click on any of the cells, and it gives you an option which says convert to table. So if you don't want to use the keyboard shortcuts, click on this convert to table, and the data immediately gets formatted into a very beautiful table. You could go ahead and you could even change the table header color to suit your brand format. For example, for my business, it's a tinge of red. So I could go ahead and I could use red as a table color. You could use purple, you could use blue, or you could go ahead and add a custom color to suit your brand or your liking. So that's easy to convert raw data into a table. Now, let's talk about adding validations. If you looked at the previous dummy data, so there we had drop downs as validations. Now, since you've just converted this raw data into the table, the validation is not there. So if you want to add another column here, another row here, you have to manually type in the data. But let's say you want to convert lead source into validation. So just go ahead, click on this, make a right click, and you can go ahead and insert data validation. So go ahead and click on drop down, and let's see all the possible columns based on the earlier entries are now listed here, and you can just go ahead and either change them, edit them, or add the color option. Let's say you want to add green for referral, blue for email, purple for telecalling, and so on and so forth. So that's how easy it is. It just works at a click of a button. If you want to display it like chips, they have advanced option there. So this is a chip view. You have an arrow view or a plain text view. I like the arrow view. The colors look good. So I click on that and I click on done, and you could see the validation and the drop down have been immediately applied. Now I could go ahead and I could change the entries if required doing that. Similarly, if here we have the lead status, you make a right click, you go ahead and you click on drop down. It gives you the options. So closed, warm, hot, cold. So hot deals, green, likely to convert, warm, amber, cold, red. Click on, and again, if you want to change the view, let's leave it as a chip view right now. And you could see that it's already applied. So you could see warm, hot, cold. Similarly, you can do it for lead stages and any other columns that you may want to do. Then the group view, which we use there. So now it's very simple. You go ahead, you click on this, and now you could go ahead and group it just like the way we did with the earlier data. And similarly, you could go ahead and you could use the filter view. So if you want to just look at all the deals that are won, you could click on right click, filter by cell value, and you have all your won deals. And similarly, you could go ahead and filter by all other values. So, and the other example was if you want to remove the table formatting. But before that, another feature is there if you want to use pivot tables to analyze data further. So you could simply go ahead, click on insert, and it says pivot table. It says into new sheet, click on create, and you have a pivot table ready. And Google Sheet also gives you suggested pivot views. So here you have a count of company for each country by week, a sum of deal value for each country by week or count of company for each week. Let's see, we want to see sum of deal value for each country by week. So here you could see you have countries here. So you have AU, which should be Australia. So Australia, India, South Africa, UAE, UK, USA, Zimbabwe. And you have the week numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you could see the progression of your sales numbers week-wise. Now, let's say you want to look at how each lead source is working in terms of country. So you need to remove the week from the column here, and you need to go ahead and add lead source in the column view. And here you could see like which lead sources are working best for each country. So pivot tables is another great feature if you want to further deep dive into your data and look at other visualizations. And in case if you want to go ahead and remove your table formatting, which was the final thing that we will discuss today, is as simple as that. You click on that table and it says remove, revert to unformatted data, and bingo, you are back to the data as it was imported. So this was an overview of Google Sheet table features on how you could use visualizations, group views, filter views. You could add drop downs to analyze your data even further. Now, in case if you have any questions or if there's anything that you are getting stuck with while visualizing data using Google Sheets, especially the table features, you can mention that in the comments view and I'll reply to them as soon as I can. And once again, if you would like to use the lead tracking sheet, which has been developed for 2025, which already a lot of companies are using because you get great visualizations and you can monitor your deal performance. The link to download and the demo are mentioned in the video description. So I'll see you again in the next video. Thank you for watching. Take care and be safe.